Welcome. I'm Julie Bacon, and you're listening to the Mindset Coaching for Handlers podcast, a podcast for dog handlers who are on a mission to achieve big goals. Here I share lessons, insights, personal stories, and tools you can apply during your next show, trial, or test to help you strengthen your mental game and hopefully cue more consistently. Be sure to check out the show notes where you'll find details about the episodes, plus important links, including the link to the Dogged Planner and Workbook created just for handlers on a mission. So if you're ready to improve your competitive mindset, get out of your own way, and connect with your dog like never before, then it's time to get comfy, bring an open mind, and work your mindset. Hey there, welcome back to the podcast. Okay, this week we're talking about my own mindset hacks. And hacks might be, I don't know, everybody loves a shortcut, right? But so might or might not be the right word, but these are my go-to skills that I lean on when I am competing. And of course, there are others, right? We need to have a packed, full mindset toolbox from which we can pick depending on what's going on or depending on the need that arises. But these are the ones that I use most often or reach for time and time again. The first is rituals. Okay, I am a big ritual person. Rituals is a key part of getting myself grounded and present and therefore in the zone of any competition. And rituals for me start like maybe even the night before, probably because I'm laying out my clothes and I'm getting organized and, whatever the little cooler is packed, or, maybe I have to put my keys in the refrigerator so I don't forget the jackpot treat. Yes, I've done that before. Whatever I have to do to be organized so that all the controllables are controlled, that I don't have to worry about those things. And rituals for me, start like I said, when I open my eyes in the morning, but they really are designed to make my day, yes, easier, but truthfully predictable. Because when I don't have to use the headspace to worry about, like, did I remember treats? Did I pack fans? Are the batteries charged? What's going on here, there, everywhere? Then I have more energy, more mental capacity to deal with all of the variables that come up, because there are a gajillion variables that come up in any given trial. So I have my rituals, and, once I'm dressed and out the door, again, depending if I'm in a hotel or I'm staying at home, and then I head to the trial, the first thing I do is I get myself organized and I get the energy of the space and maybe put a mat down if I'm putting a crate or a chair in the building or something like that. But hopefully I get to crate in the car. It happens to be my personal preference, and I find that my dogs rest better when they're in the car. But then I get my dogs settled and we walk and the dogs walk, and hopefully they get to see the space, because I would like them to know what game they're playing that day. Is this an agility day? Is it an obedience day? Is it a rally day? Like, what's the game today? So that's important to me too. And there's a bunch of other little things. And then of course, when I get them out before we run, like, what are the rituals that we do in warm up? How am I, combining getting their attention with also having fun and making sure that I'm not getting too serious on them or putting too much pressure, or in the case of Moxie, I'm not getting too intense. She does not like me intense. I love being intense. She does not like it at all. So it's all these little things that I have constructed, these habits that make me check in with myself, that make me understand that I'm connected to my dog, or that makes me organized. But it's controlling as many things as I possibly can so that I have the energy and the mental space for all the variables that knowingly will pop up. So that's one, rituals. The second one, which is kind of a ritual, but I also use it separately, is music. I am a big music person. Now, we're not going to get into some deep discussion if you meet me in a trial. We're not going to get to some deep discussion about music because I don't pretend to be smart about it. However, music is a really important, I'm going to say, mood modulator for me, okay? So whether I'm up and I need to calm down a little bit, or whether I need to get my energy a little higher, or deal with my intensity or what have you, I'm choosing from a kind of a go-to playlist that I'm constantly just building. And I'm not really dumping things out of it. What I want is a bunch of songs that I can select from depending on what I need. Do I need more energy? Do I need less energy? Do I need to be reminded to just go have fun? Do I need to be reminded to really focus and really be kind of in the moment? So I have different songs in this. I'll call it a playlist, but it really just is a collection of songs that I use to move my mood around the board, right? So and that's why I'm using the word modulate, because sometimes I need to be more up and sometimes I need to be more chill. So if I'm in agility trial, I will definitely be using music while I walk the course. It not only helps me with my energy, but it also drowns out all of the other chatter or maybe even anxiety of other competitors. So I'm not listening to their worries and I'm not buying into their concerns about the course or something like that. I'm just staying in my own little world. If I am not using music to walk, maybe I'm doing a different venue like draft or something like which is karting. I don't use music to walk that course because it's a briefing and the judge is talking to you the whole time. That would be super inappropriate. But I will use it on the way there, and I might stick some music in my ears if I feel like I need to get in my own space and I've allowed maybe, the chatter of others to sort of infiltrate my brain, right? So I will use music to get back on track. And then throughout the day, I might go listen to music if I need to, again, kind of get back into the zone. Now, I do something probably a little weird with the music. I listen to one song and I listen to it over and over and over and over. And I will listen to that song, like for agility, I listened to one song for like 3 years when I ran agility. Now, I listened to other songs in other venues or other times, but when I was walking the course, it was the same song. And the reason I do that, it's not right for everybody, but the reason I do that is I want it to be an earworm. I want that song to be embedded into my brain so that at any time I can reach for that earworm. And this particular song had a good walking rhythm. It just had a good rhythm to it. It had a good message. It had good energy, good beat, what have you. It just was the perfect song for that dog. So it might change dog to dog. I definitely have some songs that I play when I'm running Moxie to lighten myself up and just remind myself to have fun because, again, she doesn't like my intensity. And so it varies. Okay, so music is my second hack and it is very important to me. My third hack is visualization. I'm a big visualizer, and visualization, I think, is intimidating to people. I think it intimidates people almost like meditation does. And all visualizing is, at its most basic, is seeing yourself doing the thing you want to do. Okay? So seeing yourself running the course the way you want to run it. Seeing yourself and your dog, running the sequence the way you want. Going into the ring, running a beautiful healing pattern the way that you want. It's seeing it all come together the way you want. So I will use visualization to, finalize a course in my head, and I will just, close my eyes or, just really see it all coming together. And what's key to visualization, and you'll see athletes do this too, it's Olympic season when I'm recording this, you'll see athletes do it too, kind of close their eyes and even kind of move slightly with the motion. They're not just seeing themselves doing it, but they're feeling it. And researchers have spent a lot of time with why visualization is so successful. And when athletes, handlers, are doing it really correctly or really fully, I shouldn't say correctly, fully, they're like fully into the moment, the brain is even like firing some of the neurons that would operate those muscles that are needed. And other researchers have shown that it is no different than forming a memory. Well, what is a memory? A memory is something that's already happened. So if you can visualize yourself doing it right, you're actually creating a memory that you've already done it right. And while this sounds like, oh, that can't possibly be, trust me, like a whole lot of millions of dollars have gone after researching this, and all of the elite athletes have a visualization practice because it is incredibly powerful. So I visualize the course, but not just me doing the course, because, by the way, I'm not by myself. I visualize what it feels like to have my dog next to me and have their connection and have their attention, perhaps, or, being able to maybe look at them and just smile and make a connection that, like, hey, this isn't so serious, we can have fun. This is great. So whatever you need to do that. If you're new to visualization, first of all, don't try to do the whole course at once. Take a section. If you're doing obedience, take just the healing pattern, or just the figure 8, or just the in between your exercises. Take the pieces and parts. Obedience, we're in the ring for like 5 minutes, or more. And so to visualize for 5 minutes, that is like expert level stuff. Okay. So work yourself up to that. If you've never visualized before, you don't think you're any good at it, practice by looking at a memory on your phone. So go pull up a photo of like just a great day, right? Maybe it's just your dog with their little ribbon, sitting outside the venue or something. And you're like, that was a really great day. So practice by going back through what was the whole day. What was the whole day like? What was, the venue like? What was the weather like? What was your dog's mood like? What was the run itself like? Was there anything funny about taking the picture, or what have you? And the more of that we can bring up and sit with, that's basically, I call it reverse visualization, aka memories, or savoring that moment. But that helps our brain get into the mode of doing visualization because we're recalling it. We're getting used to just having just the one thought, just sitting with that over and over again. And basically all we want to do is, do that only in the future, right? So that's all visualization is. It doesn't have to be harder than that. Okay. All right. I've got 2 more when we come back. Quick question. Do you ever wish you had more mindset help? Well, the Q membership was created just for that reason. Every month we pick a topic and then we have 4 lessons, which are kind of like these podcasts that we dive deeper into. And so if you are ready for more, you're ready for more mindset work, think about joining the Q membership. Annual members get a free coaching session, but you can also choose the monthly option as well. Go to theqcoach.com to learn more. Let's get back to the episode. Okay, my 4th one is, of course, process goals. I'm a big proponent of process goals over outcome goals. I know that myself, anytime I feel myself getting nervous or like just extra angsty for something, that I have probably slipped into focusing on outcome goals. In other words, the result, right? Because we don't really get nervous to like be connected with our dogs, or to, if I say, okay, I need you to make sure that you cue your dog early enough, or, make sure that you pick them up as they come out of the tunnel, or, before you go into that about turn. And so if I tell you to do those things, things don't make you nervous. If I tell you like, okay, go cue, oh my God, that suddenly brings up pressure and emotions and all kinds of different things. So when we focus on our process goals, we focus on the things, A, that we can control, and B, we're focusing on the pieces that help us execute, right? I always say the process goals are the things you do to put yourself in the position of possibly cueing. Because let's be honest, the cue isn't up to you. It's not. You'd like to think it is, but it's not. A judge could make a different call. Something weird could happen while you were in the ring. A squirrel runs by. I don't know. There's so many other factors that we don't control. But we do control our process goals. We do control having the process goals of cueing earlier, or being connected, or just having more fun, or running like you do at home, or something like that. Those are all process goals. So I will write down my process goals, even like ahead of the week. Like I'll sit here like, midweek or the beginning of the week, looking ahead to the weekend and be like, okay, what am I going to try to accomplish this weekend? And it's not finish a title. It's support my baby dog, right? Or it's, lighten up, or have fun, or, when I went to my national, it literally was run her fast like you do at home, because I knew that in doing that, I wouldn't be so wadded up in the execution and being perfect or being technical or trying to cue. I would just like run her like home. Like, do I care if I'm perfect at home when I practice? Of course not. I just do it again. So those process goals are really my touchstone when I go to any trial. And it helps me, again, like I said, if I'm getting a little nervous or a little angsty, it resets me there. And writing them down ahead of time helps me not to get carried away or to like not make up something dumb or something that's not appropriate to that dog even. Right? If I say have fun with my puppy, like that's a fine goal, but that's not really appropriate for her. Okay. She's having fun enough for all of us. Don't worry about it. But related to that goal is my fifth thing. And that is index cards. All right. Speaking of writing things down, I have told many clients, and of course myself as well, to use like index cards. Like make yourself some little notes that you can stuff in your training bag or in your cooler for the day, and you can just have a peek at them. Because sometimes when we put them in our phone, which a lot of people do, and if you're good about that, that's great, but sometimes the act of putting our phone in our hands can get us distracted with text messages or emails or social media or something like that. So if we can leave our phone down, which by the way, I do, that is not, it's not on this list of hacks, but I really try hard not to look at my phone at all during the day. So if we can put it on a piece of paper, an index card, something else, a couple sticky notes or something inside your cooler, whatever, that just reminds you of maybe a mantra or maybe your process goals or just maybe a feeling that you want to have, a theme for the weekend, right? I've done that. I've just had like an overarching theme for the weekend, and that has worked really well for me. The other use of index cards, like once you get into them, is I've used them for training and specifically for when I leave a seminar. And my brain is like filled, right? Filled to the brim with ideas and training things I want to do and what have you. And one thing that I've done is taken my seminar notes, and instead of expecting me to go back through that journal, I actually pull out some of the things I want to work. So I'll make like a bunch of index cards and I'll pull out things I want to train. And on one given day, I'm like, I need to go train, but I don't know what I want to do. I literally will just pull a card. I've done that with like breaking down obedience patterns, like even the novice or open obedience. I've just like been like pull out a card and be like figure 8. Okay, working on figure 8. Working on getting the figure 8 really good. Instead of doing a whole run through, I'm just going to go spend 10 minutes working on figure 8. So I love an index card moment. So they're fun. They come in colors. You get to use markers if you want. You can color code things, like have one color for obedience, one color for agility. You do you, but don't underestimate the 3x5 card. It is super powerful and organized. I have a number 6, kind of a bonus one, and that is my why. Whenever I feel like, I don't know, that I'm just having a rough day or just kind of getting frustrated or down on myself, I really remember my why and why it is that I do these sports to begin with, why I got into doing, competition with my dogs. I could have had perfectly good pet dogs, but no, I decided that I needed to drive around on weekends in search of like 75-cent green ribbons. But why did I do that? And why is that important to me? And that why is sort of the proverbial slap in the face of like, just gets me reset of like, it's not that serious. It is dog sports. Yes, I have goals. Yes, I'm very driven. But at the end of the day, I am going home with my best buddies, my sleeping companions, my eating companions, my best friends, my walking partners, et cetera, and that doesn't change. So those are sort of my hacks. Those are the things that I reach for the most when I'm trialing. And if you need a recap, that was, starting off with I don't even know what order I did them in now, but we're going to go with visualization. There's music. There's my rituals, my cards. Is that 5? My process goals. I can't count anymore. My process goals, and of course my bonus why, which is not really a bonus. It's a requirement. It's core to like my goal setting system that I have. It's just super important. So those are my 6 or 5 plus 1, I guess. And I would love for you to think about, what are your go-to habits? What are your mindset skills? What do you want to incorporate? And what do you want to make sure that you're doing every weekend? Like, how do you want it to go? Do your rituals need a brush up? Do you have a new dog, and so you need to be thinking about new rituals for that dog? Have you let your visualization practice go? Do you need new music because your old music is boring you to pieces? Have you dusted off your process goals lately, or are you still just recycling the same ones? Maybe they're working. Maybe they need to be recycled. And of course, have you, gone to Staples lately, or had Amazon drop off some 3x5 cards to you, so that the first card you can write on is your why. All right. So think about that this week. That is your homework, to brush up on all those things. I hope they help you. And as always, I hope you have a fantastic week with your dogs. Thanks so much for listening to the Mindset Coaching for Handlers podcast with me, Julie Bacon. I am so grateful for your precious time. Check out my Dogged Planner workbook and journal, available on Amazon. Just search for Dogged Planner. I also offer monthly membership that's perfect for ongoing support of your awesome goals. Check out theqcoach.com for details, or just stop by and check out all the ways you can work on your mindset. And be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at theqcoach, and let me know how it's going. Finally, please share, subscribe, and leave a review. This helps us podcasters tremendously. Plus, I know I get my best podcast recommendations from friends. Thanks, and have a great week with your dogs.